5.6 magnitude earthquake rattled Oklahoma and several other states on Saturday morning. The center was believed to be northwest of Pawnee, Oklahoma, about 55 miles from Tulsa. People as far north as Fargo, North Dakota, and as far south as San Antonio, Texas, said they felt it. In March,
we found some of the most significant damage here in downtown Pawnee. Take a look. Crews are cleaning up. See these heavy bricks? They fell from the very top of this historical building.
This was a sustained, strong, lasting event.
It was an earthquake like no other. The 5.6 shaker rocking this tiny town of Pawnee, leaving a string of damage in its path.
Right now we have 7 of the 25 buildings that are condemned until further notice.
The Pawnee Nation of Oklahoma declaring a state of emergency.
According to the U.S. Geological Survey, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake struck early Friday morning off the coast of New Zealand. USGS geophysicist John Bellini said in a statement that the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center has not issued a warning, but a very small tsunami was confirmed to have the northern coast of New Zealand. The quake, which occurred 19 miles beneath the Earth's surface, struck 352 miles northwest of Wellington, New Zealand. It was also said to be powerful enough to wake up residents in the city of Auckland as well.
Singapore is battling an outbreak of the Zika virus. The number of locally transmitted Zika virus infections in that country has jumped to 151 in just 6 days.
We are implementing stricter screening for our arriving passengers, especially from countries in Asia. I would like to mention these countries: Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand. These countries have either reported cases or are transport hubs that could help spread Zika.
The Philippines' heightened alert comes amid growing cases from neighboring countries. 38 new Zika cases have been reported in Singapore on Friday alone. 189 people have been locally infected in the city-state since authorities reported its first case 6 days ago.
Well, Korea confirmed the third case of cholera in the last 24 hours, and the latest findings have concluded that all 3 cholera patients were infected by the same kind of bacteria. Now, that means it'll make it easier for the health authorities to trace and analyze the outbreak.
15 people have gone missing in North Korea after massive floods hit the region near its border with Russia. The North state-run Korean Central News Agency says heavy downpours and gusty winds pounded the country over the past week. It says the northeastern province of Hamgyeongbuk-do saw well over 300 millimeters of rain. On top of the 15 missing, more than 40,000 people had to be evacuated after thousands of homes were destroyed in the floods.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Juan Kandi. We begin with new details on cases of hepatitis A linked to tropical smoothie cafes here in Virginia. Strawberries from Egypt appear to be the source. 8 News reporter Matthew McClellan's tracking the story tonight. How many cases do we have now, Matt?
Right now, Juan, there are at least 10 confirmed cases of the virus as a result of the smoothies. The smoothie chain now pulling all Egypt-sourced strawberries from freezer shelves.
According to the CDC, imported frozen strawberries from Egypt have sickened 55 people in 6 states. Health authorities confirmed 44 total infections in Virginia, where the outbreak first appeared, and additional infections in Maryland, West Virginia, North Carolina, Oregon, and Wisconsin. Hepatitis A is a viral liver infection that's highly contagious but does not result in chronic infection. CDC spokeswoman Nora Spencer-Laval said, due to the relatively long incubation period for hepatitis A, 15 to 50 days, before people start experiencing symptoms, we expect to see more ill people reported in the outbreak.
The terrible legacy of Ebola still endures. It's the latest in a long line of worrying developments. Before the 2014 outbreak, scientists believed the virus stayed in semen for 3 months. The latest analysis shows it can linger for over a year. The study has been published in Lancet Global Affairs. 429 men were tested between July last year and May 2016. They were part of the Liberian government's men's health screening program, the first national semen testing initiative for Ebola. 38 men tested positive for Ebola. Among them, nearly 2/3 still had fragments of the virus in their system a year after recovery. The virus lingers longer in men over the age of 40. In one case, it was detected at least 565 days after a man had recovered.
Robots and artificial intelligence are already a part of our lives. Smart phone assistants, fitness trackers, vacuum cleaners that plan the cleaning themselves. But how do we feel about coming face to face with robots, interacting with them rather than a human being? Dominic Faraway, a designer here in London, is hoping to bring AI into our shopping experience with a talking mannequin. To find out more, I went to meet him and his talkative creation.
Well, what I wanted to do was see if it was possible to put a virtual head on top of a regular mannequin. You know, mannequins haven't actually changed for 150 years, so I wanted to see if it'd be possible to join the two together. So I developed a way that blends a virtual image with a 3D body.
And what difficulties did you encounter in trying to make that work?
The difficulty is that the virtual image is effectively a 2D plane, and of course the body is a three-dimensional form, and to get the two to blend perfectly together took a lot of time to develop.
There'll be an element of surprise because we don't expect this, do we? There's a freshness about the idea that is slightly disturbing, I suppose, unless you're used to it.
It is quite unusual, and there's no denying that mannequins are kind of a little bit strange. But I think because the head is so realistic, people can't help but be drawn into it.
And a frame set up like this, where do you see it going, Dominic? Who's going to use it?
Well, I think retail would be interested. I think it could be fantastic for, say, a brand ambassador launching a new product in store. They could be talking about the clothes, the shoes, etc. I think in museums you could bring back historical characters to life. Say, for example, Henry VIII could talk about his life.
I bet people are fascinated, but are they almost taken away by the technology and don't listen to the message?
No, I think because the head is so realistic and so human, they're actually more engaged with it. So unlike a touch screen or another computer screen, which you see every day in our lives, because this is so realistic, you're actually drawn to it, and because of the eye contact, I think the message actually comes across more strongly.
It's already claimed 2 lives, and hundreds of thousands of people are in the dark tonight as the storm moves up the East Coast from Florida. Those who live along the coast of New Jersey and New York are getting ready for what could be a long and damaging storm. TV 1055's Wendy Gillette reports from Seaside Heights, New Jersey.
Jessica, we actually had a lovely day here in Seaside Heights. A little bit cool, but no rain and even some sunshine as the day went on. Definitely, however, not a day for swimming, not a beach day. You can see behind me how rough the ocean is right now, and it's been that way all day long. But it is what's on the way that's of real concern.
Hermine caused trees to crash into homes in Charleston, South Carolina, flooded roads in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, and left several 100,000 people without electricity from Florida to Virginia. Hermine hit Florida as a Category 1 hurricane and is now a tropical storm. It could regain hurricane strength as it moves north over open water.
The augmented reality video game Pokemon Go became a quick hit after its release, sending fans far and wide to catch the digital cartoon creatures. But watch where you go. One Russian blogger has been sentenced to 2 months in jail for Pokemon hunting on hallowed ground.
Я решил просто взять и половить 40 покемонов, потому что почему бы и нет. Я считаю, что это и безопасно, и законно не запрещено. Поехали!
Well, the blogger was convicted of insulting the feelings of worshippers and inciting hatred. To catch a Pokemon, you need to be physically present at a location where one of the digital creatures lives, so to speak. You then use your smart device to throw a virtual ball to capture it. The blogger, who's facing jail time, has previously published videos criticizing the Russian Orthodox Church.